Welcome to Build from the Bottom. Today we're going to build a 2005 Honda CBR1000, and as you can see, this isn't just your typical rebuild of a wrecked motorcycle. Let's get into it. This right here is everything that just got back from powder coat, and I think it looks phenomenal. Nick did this, and I can't complain. Every time he does something, it comes out absolutely perfect. It's sitting on my new toolbox. All these builds that I've done, I've kind of like only done it out of that rolling box right there. And then this is my grandpa's old Craftsman's toolbox that I got when he passed away. And I've been just using this, and it's been overflowing with tools for a long time. I've been having everything kind of stacked up on this shelf right here. But I finally got that. I was really excited actually to get this thing, and now I have a good working area. I'm gonna mount a vise up to this. Let's get into what's up with this. So I bought this motorcycle in Bradenton, I think it was, and it came with two engines, a parts engine, which I ended up using the transmission out of that to put inside that CBR1000 over there that we did the video on. Allegedly good engine. I really hope it is a good engine. But this thing is all spray painted white and just looks like crap. So we got to deal with that. All of the parts that he gave with me, which was the majority of them. And then I had to go get a couple of things from Benjamin Outdoors. But I should have pretty much everything right here to build the whole bike. I got the front end over there. And yeah, let's get right into starting to work on this thing. So before we can start building the rolling chassis by putting the swing arm into the frame and then the subframe on it too, we need to address this engine with all the paint on it. So let's pick this thing up, and I'll show you guys what I'm going to do outside with it to get all the paint off. This is how, I prefer to move these things around. First thing I'm going to do is clog my exhaust and intake holes so nothing gets inside of there. And then I'm going to take this paint stripper right here, and I'm going to use the brush and pretty much brush everything that is spray painted white with it. And then we're going to let it sit out here for like 30 minutes and then come back to it and see how well that works. I got this all coated up, and while that's doing its job, I'm gonna come over here and we gotta mount the rear shock up into the swing arm. Also, I gotta put right here the chain guide on it. Once we get the shock chain guard mounted up on the swing arm, then we'll mount the swing arm into the frame. Alright, so I just got these right here. These are for the motor. They push it up against the side of the block, and then you put your like motor mount bolt through there. We got those in place before I put this swing arm into the main frame. I got the shock on it, and then I also got my chain adjusters and my chain guide. So now what we gotta do is, I got a little bit of grease right here. We grease up this shaft and then we slide it through. We had to put this in here first, and then there's just a bolt that goes down there at the bottom, and we'll have the swing arm mounted up into the frame. I got that swing arm mounted up on there, and it is looking dialed. Now that I got that done, I'm gonna come back over here. It's been about an hour that I've let this paint thinner sit on this engine, and what I'm gonna do tonight is just take this wire brush and scrub the whole thing down. After 3 hours of hitting this with a wire brush, what I did after I wire brushed everything, I took some purple power, sprayed the whole thing down with purple power, and then I took pressurized air and just air, blast everything, make sure there's no like flake or anything stained on the engine. So we're good right now. We're gonna paint this thing up gloss black, so hopefully it ends up looking pretty good. When I pull these covers off, I'm just going to take the wire wheel and, or paint stripper and get the paint off of the hardware so it looks like OEM. Other than that, I think the thing looks really, really good. Now what we got to do is we got to mount this up inside of the frame. So I'm going to lean this thing a little bit this way, and I'm going to pick the frame up and set it on top. And then the idea is to slide the 2 frame bolts into the back area, and then I'll hook up the side ones. I know you guys can feel the pain in your backs after just watching me put this on the ground. Now that this is down here on the floor, it's always really awkward when I'm in this point where I don't have the front end on it and it's sitting like this. It's really hard to get on the stands by lifting it. But what we gotta do now is I gotta slip this lower triple into the forks. I'm gonna slide them down as far as I can and then mount that into the front stem. I'm gonna also pack them with some more grease because there's just not that much grease on this right now. Hopefully, I can get it on the rear stand and then pick it up and put it on the front stand. So let's see how that goes. I got that whole front end on right there. I still don't have the upper triple on it because I have to mount the handlebars up to it. What we're gonna do now is, you already saw, I started piecing together the subframe, and now we're gonna mount the subframe up onto the frame. It just gets held in with 4 bolts. There we go. I got the case covers off the bike. I'm gonna go take those to powder coat and get them done gloss black so they're just really shiny, because that's like one of the most visible parts of the engine that you see on the motorcycle with all the fairings on. And we're gonna have to wrap the video up right here because I don't have my radiator piping in yet, and I'm gonna do like piping that matches the bike, kind of like I did with that CBR1000 over there. I like to do that as the next step before I put on like the headers and everything. So we're just gonna wrap it up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 of the build. Stay tuned for part 2. We'll have another video out next Monday. Peace.